Peace and blessings, everyone. During the summers when my kids are out of school, on a daily basis, I always have them engaged in some activity that I believe will help stimulate their mind. So for a few hours a day, they have to read, play a game such as chess or Scrabble, um, do some math work, things of that nature, right? So that they just don't go totally dumb throughout the summer, just sitting around playing video games. This summer, I've done something different in that I'm just really focusing on just reading. Um, Reading in areas of religion, philosophy, and science. Reading magazines. So stay on current events like with the Time and what is it, U.S. Weekly or whatever it is. Discover magazine, things of that nature. So I have three of my kids doing this. So I have my youngest daughter who is going into her junior year of high school. I have my middle son who is going to seventh grade, and then my youngest son who is going to the fourth grade. And what I've noticed, because before I would just send them off to themselves, all right, and then I have my oldest son. Was there also, who graduated last year. And then my oldest daughter, she doesn't live with me, but anytime she's with me during the summers, she of course do the same thing. When she actually lived with me for a year, she did the same thing. But anyway, so I just have my three of my kids right now. And like I said before, I just have them do it, send them off within the house, have them do it for, set the time, turn the TV off and do what I do. But as I'm doing it now, I have them read, and then we actually engage in this discussion about what they read, and trying to get them to understand what they read and actually apply truth to what it is that they read. Make sure they're analyzing it for the truth. Religious texts, reading the Bible, the Quran, things of that nature, and examining it in truth. And so doing that. Like I said, but what I've come to notice, in them sitting down to read, and go ahead, my daughter's one who just is totally hating this. She's literally crying about having to do this. Of course, she doesn't understand my motives, even though I explained to her. But you know how it is when you're a kid. The things you do that your parents do. It's just so unfair. You don't understand it. It's stupid and all this other stuff. You don't understand, but it is what it is. But like I said, she's literally had fits of crying because she gets frustrated when we start talking and having discussion. And she's even expressed, and I'm sure this is something that she's even applied in high school, that she doesn't understand why she have to learn something that she has no interest in. Which, in a sense, makes sense, but in a larger scheme, it doesn't. Because of her just only being a child, she doesn't fully understand what it is that she should have an interest in, and what would benefit her in having and gaining an interest in it, and having an interest in it. But like I said, so I have this dynamic, so her going through reading or whatnot. My sons are all right. They don't put up the fuss and fight as much as she does. And actually, I think they get a kick out of seeing her get so frustrated and crying at times. I think it's funny. So, so they get a kick out of it for them at times. But another thing is, I noticed just, and I guess what I noticed is when I volunteered this year at my youngest son elementary school. So I was a volunteer parent, and I was in there, and I helped with this reading group within the class. And I guess we all know, kids always want to interact with each other. excuse me, want to interact. They want to do things. Kids get bored easily. But I'm wondering, and I know this is a failing of our public school system here in the United States. We know kids, it's hard for kids who sit still. But we train them through all these 12 years, train them if they go to college, and to get them prepared for the workforce where they're going to do the same thing, where they're going to sit, hating being where they are, but deeming it necessary for the betterment. But I mean, we really have to examine. And once again, like always, I sort of hate bringing this up because to me, it should be like common sense. The truth dictates what I'm about to say. The truth speaks for itself. So why should I say it? And obviously, what it is, people don't care. The powers that be don't care. The school system don't care. Whatever it is, somebody doesn't care. That could be making ultimate change. I can't do it by myself. I care. I get on here all the time, make this video to express to you the things I care about. But I always seem alone in the things I care about, or in the great minority. And so, how can I create change, which I believe would benefit the whole? But then at the same time, did I in a way must assume that I'm just incorrect in what it is that I believe I am perceiving? That once again, I'm the stupid one. Everybody else is right or smart in what they're doing, and so I need to reevaluate what I'm thinking, what I'm perceiving. But going back to what I'm saying, if we know children are like this, shouldn't we be trying to create a different education system that works with the nature of a child, the fact that a child wants to be involved with their friends? Have a classroom setting where we don't force them, sit down, read, learn this, be quiet. Because I want to do that with my children. Just read, don't try to talk to each other, focus on what you're doing. But maybe it's not really fully conducive to the learning process. Maybe we need to have an environment where put out materials, and let them just go around. Let them interact with each other, play around. As long as the material has some interest to them, eventually they say, hey, look at this. They'll laugh, and they'll talk about it. And then they're talking about it, they're going to be learning about it, even if it's subconsciously. They're going to learn in some manner. It's going to happen. And so then we have to examine that. And if we really look at it, does it really make sense that a first grader, a 7-year-old, it sits in the classroom all day in the same manner as a senior, a 12th grader, an 18-year-old, 17-year-old? Their mentalities are totally different. So why are they doing the same? And speaking of the same, we know that just the entire system itself, we treat kids the same. Everybody needs to sit down. Everybody needs to... Am I doing this? Something's happening. I see a delay in the camera. Everybody sit down, read the books. Everybody does the same thing, yet nobody's the same. Nobody learns like the same. There may be a group here that learns a certain way. There's another group that learns a certain way, another group over here. But they're all bunched up together to learn the same way. And that can't be successful, and it's proven to be not successful. It's proven in the state of our educational system. And I even, when I ask my daughter things, and I sometimes have to say, wow, this is what I'm getting from my daughter who's going into her junior year. And I had this joke. I said, man, this is what all I'm getting for all this money I'm spending for your public education. And it just seems like, I believe the truth dictates, it speaks for it, that this isn't conducive. It isn't for the better. It's not for the best of our children. I think that's why it shows in our school system. You're going to have this group that excels. You're going to have this maybe larger group that just survives and gets through. And you're going to have this group that fails. And then in some areas, it's skewed even worse. Especially getting to our urban areas, you have this high amount of kids who don't even graduate. It's like some areas like 50%. 50% of kids don't graduate in some urban areas, which it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense because we as adults, the people are supposed to be in charge, the ones that are supposed to be in, have all the sense and intelligence, the knowledge and wisdom. We are allowing this to happen. In the urban areas, we blacks are allowing this to happen. And even outside it, well, if blacks as a whole don't want to do something about the state of their black children, well, then the other people need to come and do something about it. If it has to be the whites, the Chinese, the Mexicans, Chinese Americans, Japanese Americans, Mexican Americans, whatever it is, the people in power that has some sense need to be doing something for the betterment of other people. If this group of people is too stupid to help themselves. And I wonder if that's the case about us blacks, if we are just too stupid. And that's going to get me off another tangent when I look at the condition, and we blacks know the state that we're in. We ought to complain, but we aren't coming together. We're not having our people who making all the money, we're not having our athletes and entertainers saying, hey, here's a plan. This is what we should do. Let's bring all our money and resources. Let's get together and do something. Nope, everybody's doing their own thing. I'm worried about being rich. I got my money. I'm the big athletic star, the big movie star. I'll give some money here and there. I might buy a couple of houses, help some people. I might give some donations. I might start a little foundation. But nobody, because I'm saying nobody because I haven't heard it's coming out saying, hey, nobody in a position that we blacks will listen to. Nobody with the ear of the black people. Our athletes, our movie stars, our entertainers, all these people who other people are looking at and listening to, and they're not saying, hey, here's the plan. We need to come together, bring our money together. Matter of fact, I'm using my money to get the research done, to set up this plan, to show you what needs to be done. Nobody's doing that. Can't be doing it because I haven't heard about it. Because they had money, then they should have commercials on TV. There should be something here on the internet, an advertisement that lets me know. I see all these videos on here of blacks. We're just always talking, and I'm on here talking myself. But at the same time, I'm talking to express to you a plan. I hear a lot of talking from the different blacks in here, whether people, whether it's the 5%ers, Hebrew Israelites, people Kemet, what are the Kemetians, whatever people who are relating to Africa or Egypt and Kemet and our history there, the Moors. It's like they're more focused on us learning our black history instead of saying we got a plan. It's like, because I don't really see the salvation in knowing our history. Okay, that's the history. If we do come from kings and queens, and we do, that's all well and good, but that's our history. What is that going to do to free our people now? The knowledge of our history, what does it do to free us now? If I know that I came from a king, what does that do with my present situation now? How does that help me with my present financial situation? How does that help me to grow my social status in my class? How does it get me out of this one class and raise me to another? If I'm in a system that's oppressing me, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. If I'm in prison and I know that even if I was that direct descendant, and my father was a king and I was in prison, what does that do for me? Nothing, because I am enslaved, I'm in prison, I'm being held down, so it does nothing for me. I have the knowledge of it, I know the truth of it, but it does nothing to better my current situation. It doesn't give me a plan to get out of what's going on with what's holding me down. And so that's the same as our people in these ghettos and these projects. It's all well good. We can go in there and tell them all day, hey, you came from kings and queens, black man is God. That's all well and good. But what do you do with being God, knowing that you're God? What are you going to do with that knowledge? Just stand around and tell the next man, well, you're God, and just go out and make some money for yourself? It's like these groups themselves. I don't see these groups come together working as one. The nations of God's nurse. The 5%, maybe it's there, I don't know about it. But in the videos, it still seems like it's just important about getting the knowledge out getting some knowledge out, some information, but it's not bringing together everyone as a whole, saying we need to come together as a whole, as a nation of people, and bring our monies together and do things for the betterment of all black people. Maybe it's there. I have to, and I want to, and I'm going to take some trips to New York, because I'm trying to figure out what's going on, what's not going on, and what can be done. I believe I know what should be done, and that's coming together, but it's not being done. And why isn't it? And why is it we're in year 2009, halfway to 2010, and we're still in the same bind, same situation of this fracturing of the black people, this fracturing of black people who is being held down. We believe we're being held down. Even if we're not being held down literally, we're being held down psychologically, mentally, in some manner. The fact is, we are at the bottom of the totem pole for whatever reason. If it's just us doing it, if it's just us doing it to ourselves, then it takes ourselves to raise ourselves up out of it. But we're not coming together as one to get ourselves out of it. We complain all day, but it's complaining. Once again, I'm complaining, but I'm saying I believe I have the way for us to do it, but we have to come together, work as one to do it. But it's hard, and I guess what it comes down to is ideology, because people think, well, this is the way to our freedom. This is another way, and that's why they believe, the ones who are just giving information about our history, that is the path to our freedom. And I believe that it's not, that needs to just be a part of a complete and total system. That's just one aspect of it. But there's another way that we need to be focused on, and I believe the truth dictates that. But once again, I could be incorrect in my thinking. That it just could just be my subjective truth, just going by my own perception of reality, and that could be it. And I may just need to sit back and realize that, and accept it, and just do what I can, and not get emotional about it. But sometimes I can't help get emotional, because there's a problem. I know there's suffering. I know for a fact there's pain and suffering. Pain and suffering within my black people, and pain and suffering within all people around the world. I know it for a fact. I know that is the truth. I know it. I know it. So anyway, and I just went off on it, but let me go back to the schooling issue. And so we're not doing what I think would be best beneficial for our children, and that's why I want to start a school system. So as I sit back and I'm thinking about these things, for me, once again, I'm this sole person by myself. What is the correct path? It doesn't appear that the people who are in a position, the educators, the people who are in charge of the school systems, who should be doing the research on this thing to understand how fully does a child learn, what is best for them. Should the first few years should we just allow them to run in the classroom and put out books, maybe have videos playing, have audio things coming that they may just pick up on subconsciously that will help their intelligence? Because like I said, everybody doesn't learn the same. So it just doesn't make sense to make everybody do the same thing. Some people learn better by audio, some by visually. Some have to do things, some kids will do things by hand. I mean, we should at least have that in our school systems. Classes separated by those who learn by different methods. So they can all learn the same manner, so that it's all even. Because I feel no child should ever fail. And if they're failing, it's not their fault. It's our fault. It's your fault, it's my fault, it's the people, it's adults, and it's the people in charge. I'm not in charge, I'm an adult, I'm a parent. I can get here and try to fight them, but I can only do so much. I can only speak out, but I don't have the full power because I'm not in charge, and I don't have enough people behind me to effect change. So, once again, those in the position are the ones who should be investigating this. Like I said, at the least, that should be done to understand the human mind and how it best learns for everybody. Everybody should be able to learn effectively. Once again, going back to my daughter. Today we got on the subject of democracy and whatnot, and she couldn't tell me what a democracy was, or what is asking about the good form of government here in the United States. Something to that effect. And I was like, huh? I said, my daughter, who is going to her junior year, don't know this. And actually, my son, my middle son, my seventh grader, he at least came close and said something to the effect that the United States is democracy, something like that. And it's not necessarily to fault my daughter. I fault the education system, because she could just be sitting in the classroom like most kids, like we've done. You've been there. I don't care about this. So what? No. And it's because, I mean, their mind just doesn't click in to be concerned about it. They don't see no importance of it. What is it going to do with me? She wants to be an actress or something, or a model. So what does it matter what the government is, how the government is ran? What does it matter the history of the United States? What does that matter? How's it going to help her in her job, in her profession she's seeking? Why does it matter? George Washington, Abraham Lincoln. Why does that matter to her? And in a sense, it's true. Why should it matter? For some, no, there are some people who want to be historians, so it would matter for them. So let them go ahead and do that. We need to seek that out and understand that's a method we should do. Finding the strengths of a child, of a person, understand where they're headed to, and focus solely on that, and stop trying to feed them everything like everybody else. Once again, it's all the same. We feed everybody the same information, but not everybody's concerned with the same information. Some kids don't care. I mean, they just don't care. And if you have somebody who's an athlete, I mean, a true athletic person, then maybe have them focus just on a sport that they might go into, a basketball player. Have them have basketball, have them learn the history of basketball, the fundamentals of basketball, basketball in theory, and running plays, and learning the human body, exercise, and make sure they're able to tap into full athleticism, things of that nature. We got to do better. We must do better. That's what it says, it's we. We have to do better. God bless everyone. 22 minutes. Peace and love.